This is the Gotrax R1 20-inch folding electric bike. And to be honest, when I first took it out of the box and stood it up, it really surprised me with how compact and clean it looks. It's got those familiar lines of a city commuter bike, nothing intimidating, and the whole thing is refreshingly simple. If you're like me and you want something that isn't overwhelming, but still packs enough punch to handle your daily routine or a weekend outside, this quick review is for you. Looking at the bike, the first key feature that stands out is its size. The wheels are 20 inches, and even though that's a bit smaller than traditional bikes, it adds a lot to its portability. The bike weighs about 45 pounds, which is actually pretty light for an electric bike with a battery of this size. I was honestly relieved when I had to pick it up and carry it into my car. I've seen bikes in the 60 to 70 pound range, and those are a pain to move around, especially for someone who isn't used to hauling big gear. This one, though, I could lift without much strain. For people like me who sometimes need to pop the bike in a trunk or even stash it away under a desk in a small apartment, the lightweight frame is a real plus. One thing I paid attention to was the folding mechanism. I've always been a bit cautious about how sturdy a folding bike can be. Would it rattle or feel loose at the joints? I can say after folding and unfolding the Gotrax R1 several times that the hinges and locking mechanisms are rock solid. When you unfold and lock the main frame and handlebars into place, there's no awkward wiggle or creaking. The engineering here just feels confident. The bike rides like a regular non-folding one. So, if you're like me and feel a little skeptical about folding bikes, feeling flimsy, this one will make you rethink those worries. The next thing I noticed was the adjustability. Both the seat and the handlebars are easy to move up and down. That's helpful if you're taller or shorter, or if you just prefer different riding postures. From my experience, it's great to quickly tweak your position and get comfortable, especially for longer commutes or when sharing the bike with another person. Now let's talk about the power. The Gotrax R1 comes with a 350-watt motor, meaning you get a continuous push going uphill or across downtown traffic. But what's cool is that it peaks at 500 watts, so when you really need that extra boost, it's there. For those new to e-bikes, watts here are just a unit showing the strength of the motor. Peak power is what you'll get when you're climbing hills or accelerating fast, while continuous means your typical steady state during most riding. The 350 to 500 watt range is plenty for a city commute, and even some light trails or campus shortcuts. The max speed is up to 20 miles an hour, which is fast enough for most commutes without being intimidating. I've ridden some bikes where the speed gets a little too much to handle, especially for beginners, but this feels just right. Riding at that speed feels steady and under control, even if you're not a cycling pro. Let's break down the battery life, which is something everyone always asks me about. Gotrax says you can get up to 40 miles on pedal assist mode and about 15.5 miles in pure electric mode. That means if you mostly pedal with a little help from the motor, you'll get more range. But if you want to just let the motor do the work with minimal effort, you'll still get a solid 15 miles. In my experience, I got closer to 35 miles with a mix of assist and full throttle. Obviously, weight, hills, and how much you rely on the motor will affect this, but it holds up well compared to other bikes at this price point. When it comes time to recharge, it takes about 5.5 hours to get the battery back to full. I learned that this isn't the quickest out there, but it's definitely manageable if you just charge overnight or when you get home from work. One thing you'll want to know is that the key for locking and unlocking the battery sits underneath the frame, which means you may have to bend down or flip the bike a bit to access it. Not a deal breaker, but something to keep in mind. All the controls are located on the left handlebar, and it's really easy to use. For newcomers, the plus and minus buttons let you pick from 5 assist levels or none at all if you just want a regular bike experience. There's also a simple, readable color LCD showing your speed, battery life, and how far you've gone. I found this info handy, especially for planning my return trips so I wouldn't run out of juice halfway home. There's also a dedicated button to turn the headlight on and off, which is great when dusk sneaks up on you. Safety-wise, the R1 doesn't cut corners. Front and rear disc brakes mean stopping is reliable even in sudden situations, and there's an LED headlight up front with a bright brake light in the back. I tested these at night, riding through some dim neighborhoods, and I felt visible without being blinding. The tires are 2¼ inches wide, so you get a comfy and stable ride, even over bumpy city sidewalks or cobbled streets. It's not a mountain bike, So don't expect heavy-duty suspension. It has a rigid frame, which is fine for city and light trail rides. On dirt or rocky paths, you'll feel a bit of vibration, but for most commutes or casual outings, it's plenty comfortable. It comes with some thoughtful touches too. There's a built-in luggage rack over the back wheel, which is perfect for tossing on a backpack, groceries, or a change of clothes. I like that it feels sturdy and doesn't bounce around. The pedals also cleverly fold inward, helping the bike get even smaller when you stash it. One question I had was about durability. Would this bike hold up to daily use, folding, unfolding, and maybe some rough city treatment? So far, everything feels rugged. The connectors and joints all seem to be built with longevity in mind. I also want to call out the value. In my opinion, the Gotrax R1 sits at a sweet spot for those looking to get into electric bikes without breaking the bank or sacrificing too much on features. It feels modern, safe, and user-friendly. There's no steep learning curve to riding or maintaining it. From my experience, the Gotrax R1 is perfect for short to medium commutes, errands, or regular rides around your local park. It's not trying to be a hardcore off-roader or speed demon. It's about practicality, portability, and bringing some fun to your daily routine. I'd recommend this for anyone who needs a bike they can carry, store, and still count on for a safe, comfortable ride. To wrap up my quick review, the Gotrax R1 20-inch folding electric bike is a smart, compact solution for city dwellers and anyone who values ease of use and portability. The folding frame, lightweight build, sturdy components, and thoughtful features make it stand out for me in a crowded market. You get a solid motor, decent range, good safety options, and all the basics you'd want in an urban e-bike. There are small quirks like the charging time and battery key placement, but those haven't gotten in the way of my overall positive experience. In conclusion, if you're thinking about trying out an electric bike and want something straightforward to own, ride, and store, the Gotrax R1 is definitely worth a look. You can find detailed information about the Gotrax R1 20-inch folding electric bike in the comments section. See you in the next video.